Good morning, Chair. Chair, the witness for today is Major General Richard Shibiri. He is legally represented by Loliwe attorneys and he has counsel on brief, if they may introduce themselves.
Thank you. May the lead attorney place you on record, please. Oh, I thought,
Counsel is on
I'm
brief.
so sorry. I thought I heard reference to attorneys. Also, it's counsel instructed by, my most sincere apologies, counsel.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, Commissioners. I'm LP Mkize, Advocate Mkize from Johannesburg Bar.
Yes.
I'm appearing together with my instructing attorney, Mr. Cassius Loliwe, and Ms. Mandwa. Lisedi Mulandwa. My apologies. Chair,
I'm a bit relieved if you don't know your own attorney.
Chair, my junior instructing attorney is supposed to be writing some board exam later this afternoon.
Yes.
But she took the time to come and be part of these proceedings. That's, we believe, shows how serious it takes.
Yes.
The whole process in there. I must also apologize when the commissioners were coming in. Unfortunately, we were still I was still conferring until when everyone else stood up, we did not.
I did not even notice it.
We apologize for that, commissioners.
No.
We represent.
Good morning and welcome to you all.
Indeed, Commissioner. Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, Major General Shibiri has elected to be sworn in.
Thank you. Good morning, General.
Good morning, Commissioner.
Do you swear that the evidence you are going to give is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? If so, please raise your right hand and say, "So help me God."
So help me God.
Thank you, General.
Thank you, Chair. General, in front of you, you should have 3 files. The first file, file 1, contains your statement that you prepared for your evidence today. And if I can just place on record that you have filed 2 statements. The second statement, I understand, just contains some typographical corrections. And although I know your preference was for us to deal with the first statement, it's going to be logistically difficult for us to deal with the second statement. So we're going to work through your first statement, and where you have made changes in that statement, in the second statement, I will just alert you to it so that it can be placed on record that changes have been made to that particular paragraph. So if you could confirm then, General, that in file 1, the statement that appears at page 1 to 80 is your statement, and that the signature on, page 81, 1 to 81, and that the signature on page 81 is your signature.
That is correct, Commissioner. It's my signature.
And do you confirm the truthfulness and correctness of the contents of your statement?
I confirm.
Okay. Barring, of course, the corrections that you've made, which we will deal with. And then you should have another file with you. It's file 2, which should contain the annexures to your statement.
Yes.
And it should be annexures S1 to RS1 to 14 from page 1 to 54. And we've added another page, page 55, which is not a new annexure, but it is just the typed version of the statement that appears on page 50, from page 53, Chair. So RS11 has been typed up. Do you confirm that? So if you look at page 55, does your file have a page 55?
It will be RS14.
Yes, does your file have a page 55?
Page 55. Yes.
Okay. My apologies, I said RS 14, it's RS 11, it goes to RS 11. So RS 11, page 55 is a typed version of the written statement.
Yes, I see.
Okay. And then there's a third file which you should not worry yourself with for present purposes, that is an exhibit file. Do you confirm that you have the exhibit file? There's a third file that you should have there, an exhibit file.
Yes, I got it.
Thank you. General,
Before you start, General, it was at my insistence that the old statement should be used and that you should then refer to whatever changes you have since made as we go along. The reason for that is that I assume probably my co-commissioners have prepared on the old statement and our notes are on the old statement. So it would be very difficult for us to do cross-referring if we now have to go by what's contained in the new statement. I hope that will not mess up your presentation from where you are sitting.
I think we'll manage, Commissioner.
Thank you, General.
thank you, Chair. General, and then if we can start with your statement on page 1. As discussed with you earlier on, this is an opportunity for you to give your version in respect of allegations that have been made against you where you may be implicated. And so with very little interference from myself and the commissioners, hopefully, you may give us your version. There will, of course, be clarification questions. We will try to limit them as much as possible.
We won't quibble with the vote of no confidence.
And in return, if we could ask you that if you are going to elect to read your statement, that at the end of each topic, if you could then elaborate, if you want to elaborate on any aspect in that topic, but not to elaborate after each paragraph, because then you have an 81-page statement we won't finish in the 2 days that we have. But please don't feel hindered by that, but just bear in mind that what we want to hear your version, but that it is at your choice how you want to do that.
Thank you.
You may proceed, General.
Thank you. My name is Major General Richard Abednego Shibiri, an adult male, 57 years old, a Major General in the South African Police Service. The facts contained herein fall within my personal knowledge unless otherwise stated, or where the context indicates that the information was obtained through reports made to me in the execution of my official duties. I understand the mandate as reflected in the Government Gazette number 53048 of 2023, July 2025, to be the investigation to determine the veracity, scopes, and system implications, specific allegations of criminality, political interference, and corruption within the criminal justice system arising from the public statements made by Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi on the 6th of July 2025. I further understand that the Commission is empowered to receive and assess relevant evidence, summon witness, call documents, notify and hear implicated person, and evaluate whether any member of law enforcement and prosecutorial authority, intelligence structure, or other organs of the state engage in unlawful conduct or was subject to improper political and external influence. I understand, moreover, the ultimate purpose of the Commission to be the establishment of the truth in relation to those allegations, and where appropriate, the making of findings and recommendations directed at safeguarding the integrity, independence, and proper functioning of the criminal justice system. the scope of my response to the questions which I received.
Sorry, General, if I can just do the introduction on that. On page 2, you deal with the scope of this response, and you are responding to a rule, a notice that was sent to you by the Commission to respond to certain allegations where you may be implicated, correct?
That's correct.
Yes. So if you can then go to page 3 and deal with paragraph 5, where you deal with what those allegations were.
Thank you, Commissioners. According to this written response, is primarily confined to the following areas: the alleged infiltration or undue influence of criminal syndicates within the law enforcement agencies, and my knowledge, if any, thereof. Secondly, the nature and extent and consequences of the infiltration or of undue influence by these syndicates. So, and the nature of my relationship with my communication on WhatsApp or Signal with each person listed in the summons. My alleged discussion with the detectives in camera, witness A and B, and the other detective, that there were 3 envelopes floating around. The fourth questions to be responded to will be my alleged discussion with the detectives in camera, A and B, and other detectives, that there were 3 envelopes floating around. I think I repeated that one. The alleged telephone conversation with witness A, as overheard by witness B, and matters said to have been discussed therein. Why I allegedly informed Mr. Vusin Dala that Warrant Officer Michael Buleta, who was granted a bail during or in August 2024 in Musina case 2010/9/2022. The Cybercrime Act and Criminal Injury case involving Mr. Musa Kaula. The investigation into murder of Armand Swart, the SAPS contract with Medicare 24 Tswane District Pty Ltd, and about any payments made by me or my family members to Vusimu's Cat Matlala, and any payments made to me or my family members by Mr. Vusimu's Matlala. This statement is prepared primarily in response to the above questions contained in the summons issued to me. However, in order to respond meaningfully and accurately to those questions, it has been necessary to provide contextual background on certain events and allegations. A matter of concerning, we have entered the public domain through media reporting, public commentary, institutional process, the testimony presented before the Commission in circumstances where the information conveyed has at times been incomplete, taken out of context, inaccurately quoted, or materially misrepresented. Accordingly, we were relevant to the issues raised in the summons. I have considered it necessary to clarify and contextualize certain statements attributed to me, to address misquotes, misunderstanding, and truth, and that have emerged in evidence before the Commission, to place my conduct within its proper operational and institutional framework. I do so not to challenge the authority of the Commission or the role of other witnesses, but to ensure that the Commission is provided with full, accurate, balanced, factual account of the to the best of my ability. In this regard, insofar as such matters arise from or are associated with issues under investigation. I shall also deal with the matter following from the public statement made by Lieutenant General Mkonazi in July 2025 and reference made therein to me, adverse mentioned made in Parliament proceedings before the Madlanga Commission, the initiation of internal investigative process, including transfer to gender-based violence component, which supposed to be not component but desk.
Sorry, General, you say that it shouldn't be component, it should read desk.
Yes.
Gender-based violence desk.
Yes.
Okay.
The notice intended suspension and subsequent final notice of suspensions, referrals made by the Commission to the task team investigation, and the principal question posed in the summons. When necessary, I will further outline an operational context of my tenure as the head of organized crime investigations, including achievements, investigative breakthrough, institutional interventions taken during the period. Insofar such, the context consists the Commission in proper assessing the allegation and issuing place before it. This response is made in good faith in compliance with the lawful directive contained in the summons. I'll come to my background now. I have matriculated in 1996 at the high school.
Sorry, General, 86.
86.
Maybe you want it to be 96, it's 86.
1986.
96 is me, General, not you.
I said 1986. Yeah.
Please continue.
I'm sorry, Commissioner. Yeah, I matriculated in 1986 at a high school called Kisetwani High School in Bulobedi in Tzaninu, where I was born and grew up. I hold a diploma in policing obtained through Technicon, RSA, not SA. Now it's called University of South Africa, UNISA, in 1988. As well as Bachelor of Police Practice.
I think more accurately, it merged with UNISA.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. It's true. And then a Bachelor of Police Practice obtained through SBS, now currently is called Stadia, in 2021. I further hold a certificate in the investigative of transnational organized intellectual property crime with the International IP Investigation College in 2015. The intellectual property, and I have completed specialized training programs relating to organized crime, transnational leadership, development, compliance monitoring, and so forth. I also attached my CV as Annexa RS1 for reference, and also attached my SAPS 96, which will show my progress and the courses completed. Annexed as RS2. Before my suspension took effect on the 11th of February 2025.
Sorry, General, isn't that supposed to be 2026?
2026, yes. It's a mistake, 2025. Yeah, it's February 2026. I was the component head, organized crime investigation under the division, detective and forensic services, with effect from the 1st of May 2025. 24. The appointment letter is also attached as Annex RS3. Prior to my permanent appointment, I served as an acting component head organized crime investigation from 18 December 2023. We forgot to attach the acting letter, but I have it if it is needed as an attachment. I have served in the SAPS since 19 February 1988 and have accumulated more than 38 years experience in policing, of which 37 years have been with the detective service. I have progressed through all operational ranks, including constable, before sergeant. That time there was a lung sergeant. I also been the one. Then sergeant, warrant officer, captain, lieutenant colonel, colonel, brigadier, and then now major general. I have served in various command and senior management positions, including detective commander, cluster detective coordinator, not cluster detective head, and the provincial head crime investigation services in Gauteng, acting deputy provincial commissioner also in Gauteng, section commander organized crime and investigations, national head office, and recently as the component head organized crime investigation.
General, before you proceed, as component head, organized crime investigations, who's your immediate superior?
My immediate superior will be the divisional commissioner, detective and forensic services, who was General Sintumule, because now she's acting. General Mohali is acting now.
Thank you.
The functions and mandate of organized crime investigation. The component is comprising of 7 sections. The first one is the operational desk and projects, responsible for the registration of projects from provinces and head office and managing them, so that when we do quarterly evaluations, we have them and they are doing such arrangements. And also to interlink cross-border, cross-province organized crime happening. Transnational investigation is another section which is responsible for border policing, mutual legal assistance, and they are doing cross-border operations in SADC with SARP partners, and also responsible for vehicles stolen and recovered outside the country, doing investigation with those countries in order to repatriate the vehicles back to the country, to the owners. And then we are having a narcotics investigation responsible for investigation of narcotics. Anti-gang investigation responsible for investigation of all gang-related crimes and gang violence. Extortion investigation responsible for investigation of the extortion records at the construction sites. Now we moved on also to deal with other stakeholders such as mining, transport, and etc. Economic infrastructure and illicit mining is dealing with illegal mining, and also the ESCOM. We know since the establishment of the NECC, we have a full team working from there, from ESCOM, doing the investigation, which doesn't fall under the mandate of the DPCI. The firearm investigation is the new unit established with the new structure of the SAPS, which was approved, I think, at the beginning of 2025, in order to implement the new strategic, the midterm strategic plan. The mandate of organized crime investigation is to manage investigation of organized crime falling outside the mandate of Directorate of Priority Crime Investigation in accordance with SAP's legislature and policy framework. Here, in short, is all those which are termed by the South African Police Act to be cases which are investigated by DPCI. So we don't deal with them. We actually were there to plug on the cracks where DPCI is not dealing with it because of capacity and so forth. But sometimes there is where we cross line, then we overlap towards some of their work and whatsoever. But we are dealing with on the value chain, level 1 to 3. That is why you will see commissioners when we have now detected a clandestine laboratory and made the arrest. We will conserve the crime scene and do all the statements, but we will hand the docket to the DPCI because it's their mandate. And they are the one who are assessed on dismantling of this clandestine. But we get information, then we follow the information with crime intelligence and with the assistance of others. But we will end up handing it to them.
The delineation of what the DPCI does and what you may do is determined by the head of the DPCI. And you are then able to do that which the head of the DPCI has not decreed will be done by the DPCI. Am I correct?
Yeah, yes, irrespective of who have found it and whatsoever. So if it needs to be them, so that we must be in line with the technical indicator, which the auditors, when they come, they're going to use it to say, this falls under you. Why is it now under organized crime? Then it will be a material finding to say this was there. So hence, even if information will come from us, we follow up, we go and buy. When we go there, we found it's a big lab. Like it happened here in Erasmia, where the Mexican, we found them manufacturing big. But we do arrest cordon and do whatever, then we call DPCI to come at the scene and we hand over the scene proper to them.
All right.
And then we will work with them until they've done the rehabilitation and took the exhibit are removed, and then we provided statement, we go.
Thank you. I think you've answered my question.
Yes.
Thank you, General.
Yes. Organized crime investigation focuses on level 1, 2, and 3 of the criminal value chain, being local, district, provincial, and national, and transnational organized crime structure. My role as the component head is primarily strategic, supervisory, involving oversight, compliance, monitoring, guidance, intervention, and coordination rather than direct investigation. Through my service within the South African Police Service spanning more than 3 decades, my involvement has been continuous, direct in the crime detection, investigation, operational command, strategic intervention, compliance, national coordination of organized crime investigation, and has evolved through the following operational phases. Number 1, frontline investigation and evidence gathering, detective command and operational leadership, provincial investigative oversight, national monitoring intervention functions, executive command of organized crime investigation.
So, sorry, General. may I take you back to paragraph 16.10? I just want you to elaborate on some of the concepts you referred to. For example, when you say strategic and supervisory, what exactly does the supervision entail?
Supervision entails monitoring day-to-day implementation of strategies or policies by members who are under your component or until down there to the provinces, because now and then we check on monthly basis. We have what we call National Organized Crime Secretariat, where all the 9 provinces will come, and number one, the crime intelligence will present the crime threat for each province, so that we can determine from the registered projects, are they addressing the threats in that particular province which is menacing the community. Because it doesn't help you come and register a project of drugs, but that one we expect to every province, because we have problem with drugs in each province. And then they say you are having a problem is carjacking or truck jacking, but your project, you don't have project dealing with truck jacking. Your project deals with stock theft.
All right.
Whereas the highest threat in terms of the crime stats, it says. So when we evaluate, we start with that. And
all right, no, that has answered me.
Yes.
Then oversight, involving oversight, and what does oversight entail?
Yeah. In oversight, we do what we call compliance inspection to go directly. For example, I'll go to Gauteng. They've got sections, as I indicated, which are at head office. They are also having anti-gang. I can decide to say, hey, there is a spike in or outcry, social media, radio, whatever, in Westbury about the killing and so forth, and nothing's happening. I'll request all the cases and go and peruse them and inspect them. Firstly, I will audit them. Auditing meaning to verify the system says they are having 200 doggets on hand. So I must see all the 200 doggets. Then from there, I will peruse the doggets to see that the exact work is being done. And what does it take for them to do the work? I will be able to identify the inhibiting factors, the shortcomings. And then with the particular province, I will be able to come up with a plan to address those shortcomings we have identified. And you don't go there and leave before it is done. It must be done when you are there. And then going forward, they will be having we'll have an action log where they will be reporting monthly or whatsoever, or I'll come and check. And I will even initiate that if there is list of those who are known, we need to go and trace. I form a team from other stations. We come there, maybe we get overtime for them. We go and try to trace and arrest. But then what will be left is to follow up, because you can arrest today. Then they don't link the person, they don't even enroll it. Mm-hmm. You will have that state of arrest which doesn't even, because if you didn't remove that person from the equation, he's still going back to do the same thing. So meaning you have done nothing.
Okay, all right. And I assume there may be overlaps. Some of what you said or rather part of what you said in respect of supervisory and oversight may also encompass what you do in terms of compliance. But let me still ask the question, and what does compliance entail?
Yeah. Compliance, Commissioner, it simply refers to all the members or operational members, whatever they are doing, it is in line with the internal prescripts, being national instruction, SOPs, and the policies. So if we say a case docket must be completed like this, so everything must be completed like that when you open a case docket. The part A, part B, and whatsoever. And when we say we have a warning statement, you found other stations, they become creative and make their shorter warning statement, which does not have all the rights which you must ask the accused person whom you are charging. Then it gives a problem when you got a litigation that you didn't explain the rights which are there, which we promise people we're going to ask them and make sure we're doing it. And when we say people must be charged within 48 hours or released, if not charged. So those is the internal compliance which they must deal with. Say we in line with the law, and when we come to be inspected by the auditors, there will be no findings, and the community at large, they will be satisfied with what will be done.
Thank you. Exactly what I said, because I think you said something similar with regard to supervisory. You said you ensure compliance with the policies, and it looks like it's similar to compliance monitoring.
Yeah.
All right. And guidance?
Guidance is like on-service training, coaching. Like on our side, because we're dealing with dockets, you will read dockets to see if the member understands what he's supposed to do based on the crime happened. Then you will read from A to Z, and then see what is lacking, what is outstanding. Then you will make an entry in the docket on the SAPS 5, the diary. To say, go and obtain statement of Advocate Mkhize relating to this and that. Go and take the statement of Shibiri because he's a witness, he was there when this happened. And then go to this shop where they said they bought this and check a video camera, who was there, and then get forensic to go and check fingerprints on this shop where this and that happened and so forth. So it must be specific, because guidance is like in-service training, telling somebody what to do step by step in order to complete the investigation.
When you say in-service coaching or guidance, I understand this to be something generalized and not relating to a specific docket or a specific investigation. Am I correct?
I agree. It can be done generally in a setting like this when in parade. Then talking to everybody about a subject which you have identified to be a problem. For example, less information is written on the diary as to what have you done. Because if you go out to do something, you must note on the diary, at this time I was at this street and then looking for this, I spoken to Mr. Who, and then he said the witness is not there, is somewhere, is moved out. The new telephone number of the witness is this one. If you say you are looking for forensic report, you will indicate I inquired at the forensic, spoken to this brigadier. He indicated it is allocated to IO, reference number is this and this. And then they said it will be ready within 2 weeks. So that it can be a general way you are telling everybody. But when you take a specific docket, you will be speaking to that individual who is investigating, guiding that investigation, what to do in order for the investigation to be completed and the docket to be ready to be taken to the prosecution for decision or to arrest the suspect and place it on court road.
Would you be involved? Would you personally be involved in the latter? That is the giving or that is the coaching or guidance in respect of a specific docket. Would you personally be involved in that?
Yeah, the section that I've made to say organized crime comprises of this section. They are headed by the brigadiers. And then there's the other small section by
Can you please answer the question directly?
Okay. Yeah, I will
please. I don't understand this to be intrusive questioning at this stage. Not at all. I just seek clarity on all these concepts.
Okay. I will.
Yes. So, would you personally be involved in coaching or guiding in respect of a specific docket?
Most of the time, more especially where we receive complaints, and then to say there is a problem of this and that. Then when I go there, let me give example of Teveja. There was a problem of extortion and anti-gang, and also these insurance matters. So firstly, when you go there, you have to understand what people are complaining about. But I have to get these dockets. So I'll get somebody to go to the system and get all these dockets, and then I will call all these dockets, and then I peruse all the dockets and give guidance. Then I will form a team comprising of the people I came with from head office, but mostly are still from other provinces. And then I will need also people from that particular province. Because it becomes difficult. If I can deploy people for 3 months, they cannot be carrying doggets from Eastern Cape. Them being in Gauteng, they're gonna be a problem. Sometimes the doggets are not at court. Then the ones who are from the local, they will be carrying the dockets. The others will be doing support, working with them, arresting and whatsoever. So that when the time arrives that is 3 months lapse, we have done a dent, then we have stabilized, then they can continue on their own. They are able to continue, and then we leave those doggets with them, because we do this in many times. So sometimes it will be taxi violence, I must go there, and then with a team, and then such things must happen. So if you want to give the people who are coming from outside, it's going to be difficult to remove them there because they are carrying the docket themselves. You didn't mix from the start. So the planning must be, you are not there permanent, because the task team is there made to deal with the situation, stabilize, and hand over. Because we went there because the province and the district were unable to deal with that particular specific problem.
All right. I think we are left with only 2 now, so we are almost done, General.
Yeah.
General, other than you becoming involved because there's a complaint in the way that you've described it, are there circumstances where you become involved with a particular docket in the normal course of the execution of your duties?
Yes. That is why we are having a duty officer from the province, from the district. All of them, they must report to the NAD joints. And then a report is given to the duty general from the province, and they will escalate it to head office. And we're also having a group where they can send on WhatsApp, but sensitive and high profile cases or prominent people. So the reason why we must know, let me give my, with organized crime. With organized crime, I've got nine provincial heads, been brigadiers running the organized crime there. So it's the people whom most of the time I will communicate with regarding what needs to happen under organized crime. And they also share their successes and also their best practices to others to see how did we deal with this thing. So I will have interest whereby a prominent figure, or maybe 6 people were killed. Sometimes I go and attend the scene myself without being told, because I know when the National Commissioner wants information, he will ask the DNC will ask me or the DIFCOM. So I must be able to know what happened and compile a report for the DIFCOM, because the channel is, even most of the time, the DNC used to task me. But when I write the report, it will go through the DIFCOM, so that there mustn't be something which is going out of her office without her knowing. When she go to the meeting, she doesn't know what happened. So it happens like that even if there's no complaint.
Now we are left with intervention and coordination. Should we treat those individually, or do they go together? Intervention and coordination. Are they separate concepts? Don't elaborate. Are they separate, or do we deal with them as?
Yeah. Intervention and coordination, it will relate to whereby, for example, let's say here in Pretoria, there is somebody kidnapped, they want 6 million. And then there is a team in Gauteng. Other provinces, they don't have teams dealing with ransom kidnapping, because you go to other provinces, it's investigated by DPCI. So what you do is we go in as head office to assist, to give investigative support. Then we can coordinate private sector with them. Then we form a tag jock where we will be operating from for maybe three days or whatsoever. The hostage negotiators will be brought on board, and the investigators and the telephone analyst and whatsoever. Then the hostage will be, when they phone the family, will always getting that information. And then working with the team from the province in order to ensure that there is a success in tracing and getting the kidnapped person back and arresting the perpetrator.
And then right at the end, you have, rather than direct investigations, what do you want to convey by that?
To direct the investigation.
Look at 1610. Look at 1610, the last line of the paragraph. And right at the end, you say, rather than direct investigations. What is that meant to convey?
Yeah, I think they were trying to explain that rather than us just directing, telling person, go and investigate without doing anything to assist on the investigation.
Don't get to you?
I think we wanted to indicate rather than direct investigation, meaning rather than not just directing people what to do, to say go and investigate, we also involved in the investigation by providing the above.
I would have thought it means the opposite. I would have thought it means that you don't get involved in direct investigations. That's how I read it.
Yeah, in a way, mostly we're not supposed to be involved, but the way it is, we're involved because of the situation where we find ourselves in.
What is that situation?
Yeah. For example, I'll give head office is in Gauteng. And Gauteng as a province, a small province, it's a geographical. Complainants know where's the head of, where's the provincial office, where's the head office. And the proximity for them to reach there. When they go to a police station and they are told something, they simply drive through to head office, whereas in other provinces, you have to travel for hours and they don't get there. They don't even know the people. And some of these people from here, citizens from Gauteng, they knows the head office people and the ministers. Then it is easy for them not, when they don't get joy, to phone direct. And most of our people, they feel comfortable when they speak to a senior member. They feel that their complaint will be dealt with accordingly. So as a result of that, you end up, when you send somebody again, they don't get any joy. You'll end up calling the person, come with the dog. Then you will check the dog yourself and then give directives and end up giving feedback yourself.
And why don't you follow your own structure and processes? Why don't you redirect the people and say, this is the structure, these are the processes, go to ABC, which is not head office?
Yeah. Sometimes you can manage to do that, but in most instances you can't, because when the person is there, wants answers there.
All right.
And he's curious. He doesn't want. It is like I'm chasing him away where he was chased away.
Yes.
And at head office, you can't even give direction or resolve a matter. So what you find yourself in is to make sure that the matter is resolved immediately to the satisfactory of the complainant.
All right. No, I don't want to sound intrusive at this stage. I just wanted to understand what you mean by rather than direct investigations. You've given your answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. General, I think you can now go to paragraph 17 on page 9.
At times, my functions require active operational participation rather than ceremonial and administrative oversight, which included serious and violent crime.
Can I just ask, when you say my functions, do you mean as the component head at the time?
Yes. Sometimes I'm needed to go down there if there is shooting and go and attend with them the scene and give investigative support.
You may continue. I think at paragraph 18, you highlight one investigation that you were involved in. You can deal with that briefly.
Yeah, on this one, I just gave an highlight that there was a period whereby the miners, more especially who were working at the smelt house, were killing the shift boss, those who were stopping them and managers from going out with this, we call them amalgam, because it's already theft from there. Then they just put them in this, these police socks, and then and fasten them and put another one and fasten them. They put them around their waist. So if the shift boss was so strict and other securities, so they started taking them out. So it started in lieu of coming towards Western area and back to Driefontein. That time now is called Sibanye Water. So, and these guys, because there were no arrests, they started doing this. So I collected all the dockets and started the investigation backwards. And then we managed to arrest a team full of these people working at the mines. Because you see, all of them, they were having cars. All of them, they were staying in suburbs and whatsoever. But so we managed to have a breakthrough on it.
Then if I could ask you from paragraph 19, 20, 21, and 22, are you speaking about a role prior to your role as component head in those paragraphs? Because if you are, I think that it's not entirely relevant to what we're dealing with, but if you want to maybe summarize it or just have it be noted for the record.
Yeah, it was just what it is there on my CV, trying to show the job I have done before. Like I was still a branch commander in Randfontein. Then there were problems with particular suburb where there was a lot of killing, and it was towards Christmas, and yeah, because of drugs and so forth. So my team, we went there, took the old dockets, went through them, and we managed to get warrant of arrest on the old ones, and then we worked backwards on the new ones, and the whole criminal grouping was rounded, arrested, drugs found, no bail, and people had a nice Christmas in Tukom's Rest for the first time.
I think you can just summarize it in paragraph 21, really summarizes it.
Yeah, in 21, here is where I was a district detective coordinator for District West Rand before I went to be the provincial commander of Gauteng priority crime investigation, where I was responsible for anti-corruption investigation, SASSA fraud, truck jackings, gang-related organized crime, political killings, and illicit cigarette syndicates. And also there we've been successful in dealing with truck hijacking. More arrests were made there, and also they took us over to incorporate the taxi violence in what we were doing.
Can I then ask you if we can go to paragraph 28 on page 12, which deals with your role as the acting Deputy Provincial Commissioner Crime Detection. When were you acting in that role?
Yeah, it was during 2021 when the late General Ndlovu went on pension. So I was acting on his position for 11 months as a acting Deputy Provincial Commissioner Crime Detection. And my work was involving strategic planning for provincial crime detection, management of all the components within the directorate, oversight, investigative source allocation, operational coordination between specialized units, performance of monitoring and investigative work. So until
sorry, General, before you go
was,
past that paragraph, I'm interested in 28.2. This would have been Gauteng, so the province that you're referring to is Gauteng in 2021.
Yes.
And 28.2, management of all detective components. What does that mean?
Yes.
What does that entail?
where I say
On page 12, paragraph 28.2, your involvement
to
as
manage all the detective components. So the crime detection as the deputy provincial commissioner responsible for crime detection. Under that directorate, there is components like serious and violent crime, anti-corruption, crime scene, and criminal record. And then there is crime intelligence head also who is reporting there. And also there's crime investigation services. And then there is stock theft and also. So all those components are managed by the DPC, crime detection.
it wasn't limited to organized crime.
No, it's all the components, including the organized crime. So all the components were reports under the deputy provincial commissioner.
Okay. Then I think you can go to page 13, paragraph 30. This is now in your capacity as the acting component head and presently Major General Component Head. This is the position that you were in before, the permanent position before February 2026 when you were suspended.
Thank you, commissioners. During December 2023, the divisional commissioner together with the DNC approached me and asked if I'm interested to come and act at the component, because at that time the component was not having a national head, organized crime, because it was held by General Sevilla, who was promoted to be the DNC. And I worked in that component when it was started with General Sintumule. So the people they were brigadiers there who were acting in rotation, but they indicated to me they don't get joy or see any improvement since they are acting. So they approached my provincial commissioner, who was the Lieutenant General Mawela, and he agreed, and a letter was drafted, and I was appointed as the acting from the 18th of December 2023. We didn't attach the letter, but I'm having it if it is needed to be put in as an annex. So I worked there until 2024, May the 1st, when I was promoted to Major General as the permanent component head. And I outlined them the works which I'm doing as a component head. Should I read them or can I pass?
I think paragraph 31, we'll take note of the sub-paragraphs in 30. You can maybe deal with 31.
I can deal with 31.
Yes, onwards.
I must start from 30.1.
No, 31.
31.
At the foot of page 13.
Okay. Directing disruptive operation against organized criminal networks.
Sorry, General, what does that mean? What does disruptive operations mean?
Yeah, the disruptive operations mean the operations. Remember, organized crime mostly deals with project investigation, which takes long. So sometimes when you want to know, for example, we are having you as a target, but we don't have enough now. We put an agent, but we can't get to you. What do? We can do a disruptive operation based on to say, yeah, she might be selling drugs, and then we go and get a search warrant, and then we search. as if we're searching for the warrant, but actually we want to get to know you and to gather more information about you and the vehicles you are having there so that we know what you are going to survey because you are sophisticated so that our agent cannot infiltrate you. Or else maybe he will be or she will be the one who's friendly with you during the operation. Our others of us will be so rude with you and whatsoever, and we search, we get whatever we get, and then we can get even your post, and then we will use it later. So those are the strategies. For example, or we know there is drugs sold there, we'll go and get a search warrant, and then we go and search in order to get the drugs. Or we apply for Section 252A, we come and search and arrest. That is where it's a straightforward. We can't get to you. We can just do that. Maybe you are just a street seller or whatever. So it will be a waste of time to register a project. When we register a project, maybe we could have arrested you, got information from you, where are you buying, then put our agent to go with you to go and buy. And then so that you get trust from that particular person, then he can, without you, buy in bulk. Because if you just go by 10 rand, it becomes difficult for us to also institute poker act on you because it is so small what you are selling.
Can you just look at paragraph 31? Is it not meant to be the last paragraph, subparagraph of 30? Because it just starts from nowhere and basically ends nowhere. Is it not meant to be one of your functions as acting component head?
In other words, shouldn't it be 30.10?
30.10.
It is meant to be 30.10. So it is part of your functions. It's part of 30. That's what I mean.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. You don't have to change it because it will disturb your other paragraphs,
Okay.
just for our noting.
All right. No, thanks, Commissioner.
Now, when you say in that paragraph, directing disruptive operations against organized criminal networks, how involved are you in that process in order to direct it? Would you have to have knowledge of the organized crime networks? Who's giving you that information?
When I said this, on the same page, 31.
Correct. Yes. So the 31 that it currently is, you say part of your functions in your capacity included directing disruptive operations against organized criminal networks. So I'm asking you about those organized criminal networks. You would have to have knowledge of organized criminal networks in order to be in charge of directing the disruptive operations. So can you just give us an indication, so just an example of, you gave the example of the drug. So you would have to have intimate knowledge about those organizations or those networks. And where are you getting that information from?
Yeah. Thank you, Commissioner. As I've indicated, organized crime, we've got provincials and one at head office. So what happens is in their districts, each district is having the DOCS, the District Organized Crime Secretariat. So that comes from those stations. So remember, the OCTA process deals with geographic approach and this unconventional approach. So when there is prevalence of a certain crime happening in a station precinct and they can't deal with it and they can't identify even the market where these commodities which are stolen, they are going. And maybe they arrested one person once and whatever. So they will have to escalate this to register an inquiry file, a threat file. And then it will be discussed at the district, at the docs meeting, where they will decide to say, no, let's get a multidisciplinary team, investigators, crime intelligence, and whatsoever. Then they follow. They will go and get all the reported case and do the crime pattern analysis, the crime threat analysis, and then they come together to say, this fits to be a project. They will register a pre-project and then start looking for these people. So that is where the networks are identified. It starts by the prevalence of reported cases in a precinct, and they are unable to deal with it geographically. Even if they post to those hotspots, still it persists. It moves to, they just displace it in the same precinct, and nobody's been arrested, but the cars goes every day. So then we will decide to say, okay, this might be a project. And then we arrested this one, we don't know where they are taking, then maybe this one gave us information to say the guy who is buying these cars is this one, he's handling it and selling parts. These ones are taken to Mozambique, these ones are taken where. And then they are paid how much. So that is the information which must be verified by counterintelligence and intelligence gatherers. So to identify the network, each province, based on threat analysis or on the reported crime, they identify who is the active role players involved in this crime. Then meaning you identified your networks, then you are managing to profile and see is working with this and that and that. Then you go deeper, you profile them. Wow, what are regarding their funding, their finances and assets and whatsoever. How do they live? Do they fit the criteria that they can afford this thing? Then they become target. We identify, oh, this network works with this and that and that and that. That is why when we meet, I'm able to ask them, why is there no project registered in Northwest for this commodity? Because there is extortion at the mines there. Why do we don't have it? Then in Gauteng, we are having groupings doing illegal mining. Who is the kingpin and where are they taking? So crime intelligence must come on board and look into that then and report and register a network or an inquiry and work with the detectives. Then identify the person to reach the stage where we can say we are going to buy that gold, or the gold will be in bulk with them when we can go and arrest.
Be careful not to disclose your strategies to those criminals.
Okay.
I think let's just stick to your evidence insofar as it is relevant to this question. I'm worried that you are telling them what your plans are and they'll be ahead of you.
Yes. But they already know. They already know because you make an operational plan already, you see it on the social media before you go and operate. So they already know. But yeah, they can know, but as long as they don't know when and how.
Chair, is this a convenient time to take the tea adjournment?
I am being directed that we should come back at 20 past. Let's adjourn until 20 past.